before I get this thing moving, cruising, whatever you want to call it, I have figured out and decided that I'm going to keep the 26 Panigale V2, the 2026, and I think I figured out a way to make it work. So, I'm more like I found a job that I should be able to enjoy, where I can still ride the bike as I please, pretty much. Have the free time, so on and so forth, to well, keep on enjoying life. This is a bike I've had my eyes on for a long time. Not the 26 model specifically, but the V2. Could have done a bit more research on it, I guess, but coming off of the 2019 KTM 1290 Super Duke R, to be more specific, this thing does pretty good. It's a lot more tame. Obviously, it's not nearly as powerful as a Super Duke, but I just had this brand new starter put on down here. And I finally found my GoPro. I think I figured out a way to get the audio to work, so I can actually have a microphone and talk while I ride and not just, oh, gotta get used to being there again. It's been a long time. Right. Don't check my pockets. I don't trust this crap. We good? We good? Alright. My only complaint about this bike is how useless these mirrors are. And they don't fold in, so you can adjust them by pushing on the mirror itself right here. This whole piece doesn't move. I hope the wind noise isn't too much. I might be able to cut that out though, especially if I'm talking loud. Again, it's been a while since I've actually done any motorcycle content that's on the bike and not off of it, like the past couple of videos have been. That's a good one. So, the last time I rode a motorcycle with my GoPro on, I still couldn't figure out the microphone issue, which I think I got figured out now, and that was on my Super Duke. I just quick shifted into neutral. Okay, that's a new one. Not gonna do nothing too crazy. Bike's not warmed up yet, so yeah, it's warmed up enough to do wheelies, but tires aren't warmed up, and I don't want to be too reckless. Especially if I do plan on keeping this thing, which I have fully decided on doing. I'm gonna go back to work, live my life, be happy. You know, well, content. As is every human nowadays, we're all just content with our being in our own life. It's on my ass. Okay. I mean, it's not like I have a choice, I guess, but still. Give a brother some space. But yeah, I've had this bike literally a month. My payment was due yesterday, and I have not paid it. I don't have a job yet. Yep. Went and got the bike, and then a week later, lost the job. You know, after making all the promises, oh yeah, I can make the payment, I have a job, I'm working, I got the money. Yeah, that ended real quickly. And I'm really bad at saving money, as you can tell. I'm sitting on a 2026 Ducati. I mean, unless you got the money, you can't save the money to get one, right? Like, you gotta finance one of these things. Which wasn't too bad. I mean, it's 20,000, this was 20,000. But the area I live in, I mean, like, the average income's 30. So, all things considered, this is pretty much everybody in this area's yearly wage on two wheels. No wheelie control, man. Golly. It's impressive to me because the Super Duke had wheelie control. It was more like anti-wheelie. This has wheelie control. I can just wide open and it'll ride it out for me. It requires no skill, which is good because I don't have any skill. I got enough confidence to pop it up and rely on my foot brake to put it down. But that's all I got when it comes to riding. I've lost my corner confidence after I totaled my Super Duke last year, almost exactly a year ago when I got this bike. So I'm still kind of learning again, getting back into the groove. This ride is purely one, content, two, to get a better understanding of the GoPro, the audio, make sure everything's working correctly. But I've also got places to be, so I'm going to my grandmother's 90th birthday party right now. And over there singing, it's pretty cool. I respect it. I think one of my favorite things about this bike is the fact that it's not a Super Duke, so although it does get hot, and I mean really hot between my legs, it doesn't burn everything. It just burns my thighs. With the Super Duke, it would burn my forearms. You get stuck in traffic and it's just GG, you're just over with. Which is the first time I ever lane split was on the Super Duke. I had my, I made a big jump. I went from a 91 Kawasaki Ninja, which is, I think it was a ZX6R or something like that, not a GXC. It was the, wasn't the track variant, but it was the R model of the 90s. So it was still a Ninja 600R, but it was like the GPX, something like that. It was the Grand Prix model. But you know, that thing having absolutely no technology, which a lot of people prefer. I don't prefer that. I like having the extra technology to help keep me safe. At the end of the day, it's better for people who aren't top of the line riders, right? Like, I can't just trust my instincts to not panic when somebody pulls out in front of me and throw myself off the motorcycle. And the whole reason I went and got the Super Duke is I went into a local dealership about 20 miles away from me. I was on my way to go see my parents. They were up there working like 5 minutes from it. And on the way there, 2 minutes from my house, actually a car pulled out in front of me and I had locked up front and rear brakes. Slid probably 15 foot, just skidding. Luckily, I didn't lay the bike down, didn't hurt nothing. And the person who pulled out in front of me, I mean, they did wave and apologize, which is, it happens, I get it. But it is enough to irritate me to go straight to the dealership and say, I want something with ABS traction control, I want something. And at that point, I've been riding motorcycles 2 years, and I've been on that 600 the whole time, and I was like, I really want something a little more power too, and they're like, well, you're more than ready for a 1000 plus, right? Like, I guess so. Let's go for it. And not having a motorcycle license, to have a permit, I can't test ride anything like that. So I just had to kind of shop for a second and be like, you know what? I like the Super Duke, it looks cool. I bought it. And on the way out, they go, you know what that bike's called, don't you? The Super Duke? They go, no, it's called the Beast. I was like, oh, cool, that's good to know. That'd been nice to know before I bought it. Yeah, you'll see why here shortly. Man, that thing was a monster. I mean, it was untamed. It was hard to control. I loved it though. It was probably the most fun I've ever had riding a motorcycle. But it was just, I mean, like I said, it's untamed. But this always doesn't have the same power. It's got enough power that I can have more than enough fun, do all the illegal in the world, not that I ever would, you know, this, and not have anything to worry about. I'm not missing power. This has enough bottom end, mid range to like way outperform, you know, something like an R6 or, you know, ZX6R. But the top end, it's right in between. It's like a Gixxer 750, I believe is what's closest to it, where it's actually correct for its size. This bike should do about 170. I've not had it that fast. Fastest I've had it on a track was 156. And that's purely because I ran out of track, right? So, be known. Yard Mustang. Make sure the GoPro's still there. Been talking to myself, the GoPro's laying on the road back there like 5 miles back. Dear Lord. That'd be my luck though. Just so much fun to do that. And now this GoPro is my Hero 7 white. I don't, or no, it's silver, I believe. My I have a Hero 11 black, but it's low fuel, but it's currently dead, which is another stop I have to make. I have to stop by the power company and get my power turned back on. The joys of not having a job, right? Got money for gas, got money for a bike, but not power. You gotta have your priorities straight. Oh, dear lord. It's a little chilly. 70's not too bad. I'm layered up right now. I got a motorcycle jacket on, I got a jacket under this, and I got a sweater under that. I'm honestly too hot. I'm gonna end up probably riding back without one of those on. And all I got down here is just my joggers, which is a bad choice. It's a real bad choice. I can't take those off and ride back, so if I get too hot, it's just a game over. I mean, I could ride back without them, but cops wouldn't like that too much. I wouldn't like that too much, man. I'd be shriveled up. You wouldn't see nothing. The only thing, one of the other things I don't like about this bike, I'm gonna correct that, not the only, one of the only other things I don't like about this bike too. Brain. I don't like the fact that as a 2026 model sport bike, it doesn't come with a steering stabilizer, which the V2S I believe does. This is just the V2, it's the base model of the two bikes. But considering I'm not really ever on a track, except for when I do my speed runs, I don't need the extra sport, track suspension. I don't need the extra, add-ons, extra power, whatever else the V2S comes with. I know the V2S's main thing is it has Olin's suspension, which is great. I'm sure it's excellent. But like I said, I'm on the street, I'm riding around, I'm cruising, I'm commuting back and forth to work, whatever. I don't need all that. Yes, it's safer because your bike can handle, contact, higher contact surface, it's safer. But this thing, man, it's just, I couldn't justify spending the extra money, which apparently I couldn't spend it on this either, no job. But shit happens, that's what it is. Thankfully, you show and have absolute faith in the Lord. Everything will just work out. He'll make it work out. And that's kind of where I've been mentally, is just as much as everything seems to be going downhill, it doesn't matter how dark it is, there's always going to be that little bit of light. To the day, for dark to have been created, there had to have first been light, right? That's the way I look at it. For something to exist, there must be an opposite, right? So that may not be philosophically correct, that may not be scientifically correct, but that's the way my brain looks at it, and it helps me cope. I guess is the right way to put it. And that's all that matters. If I can cope with it, if I'm happy about it, so be it, right? Like, who else cares? My life, my body, my choice, right? That's exactly what I mean by I've kind of lost my core confidence, man. If on the Super Duke, that never would have happened. I would have stayed well within my lane. The whole thing, and I know I'm not doing it. I got to get back into it. I'm not counter steering in those corners. Good eyes. They were watching out. But you know what? So was I. It's a good thing. That's why you got to slow down before spots you can't see. That blind corner could have been the end of me right there. You gotta know where you're going, how you get there. You gotta know what speed you're going, man. You gotta be ready for everything. And I guess that's one of those things that does say a little bit more about a rider. It's whenever they show they're prepared for a moment like that. Just counter steer. Counter. Beautiful. The issue is now I got a mixed counter steering with leaning. Oh, it ain't too bad. It's a little chilly, a little windy, but I am on top of a mountain right now, so who cares? I'll survive. What's the worst that happens? I get sick, I can't find a job, and I lose everything I own? Yeah. Oh no, I get to restart. Obviously, it's not looked at, looked great upon, but it is what it is. Well, that's enough of that, I guess. I'll pick this up when I leave.